with a star departing AEW and more. This is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. As it was previously reported that Pillman Jr. will be going by the name Lexis King on NXT, he addressed this in a vignette on the program and replied to the post online, writing, 26 years ago, my father was buried, and tonight I buried his last name. I will no longer be known as the lost son living in his father's shadow. I will forge my own path and stop at nothing until I am the king of NXT. Touching on the backstage atmosphere of NXT this week with their big episode last night, Bodyslam.net reported, with such a stacked edition of the show comes a chaotic environment. In asking about how the show came together, multiple Bodyslam.net sources in NXT have stated that the backstage environment at the show was hectic, with segments on the show being moved around frequently. Ringside News added, the report also indicated that given the numerous elements in the show, including multiple surprises and high-profile guests, it's understandable that the show needed some adjustments as the night progressed. An NXT source reportedly expressed their belief that the show was executed exceptionally well, emphasizing the crucial role played by the enthusiastic crowd in the show's success. Staying on the topic of that loaded episode of NXT, John Cena would meet up with the fan he had a rap battle with outside of a WWE event back in October of 2003. With him making a return to WWE on NXT last night, The Undertaker would end up taking out Braun Breaker, as he said this on social media after, the baddest of them all. Giving behind-the-scenes details on what led up to FTR losing their AEW Tag Team Championships to Big Bill and Ricky Starks on Collision, Sean Ross Sapp revealed that for those asking, Dax Harwood did in fact push to creative for the finish of the FTR vs. Big Bill and Ricky Starks match to happen the way it was. Cash Wheeler is nursing injured ribs, but we've not been told if he'll miss any time. As it was said that Cash Wheeler is nursing an injury, Dave Meltzer clarified this situation on Wrestling Observer Radio. So the deal, I guess, is that Cash Wheeler isn't hurt and it's all storyline. It's storyline, and yeah, it's just to put those guys over, and they're gonna be back in the mix. The match thing was their idea for sure. Taking to X, Nia Jax sent out a message to potential fans looking to approach her in public as she wrote, no pictures, no autographs, don't ask me, I'm sick of you two-faced trolls. Speaking about her former tag team partner, Sonya Deville, in her recovery from an ACL tear back in July, Chelsea Green told the Wild On podcast, I was more so worried for her, Sonya Deville, when she got injured, in the sense of she just has worked so hard to get there. I have been through this a million times. Like you said it when we first started, I have been fired and rehired a million times. I've broken bones. I'm good. I know I can come up with something, and if they don't want to use it, then they're gonna do what they want. You can't change that. But I was just worried for her and her mental health, going from being on the road for the past 7 to 8 years to having her very first injury and being out after winning the championship, her first title. But actually, it turns out she's thriving and doing amazing and healing so well, and we talk all the time, and I was just very, very grateful to be given a second chance. While Jon Moxley was set to wrestle on AEW Dynamite this week, he would end up not being able to do so, as Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful noted. AEW found out early in the afternoon Tuesday that Jon Moxley would not be cleared for his title match against Phoenix. Following Saraya's title loss on Dynamite this week, many thought she could have been injured in the bout. As Fightful said, Saraya is not injured, for the numerous inquiries about that. Sticking with Saraya, she would note an interaction she had with Adam Copeland and Bryan Danielson, writing, "You know what was really cool yesterday? Was before the show I was standing in the ring and I saw Adam Copeland on one side and Bryan Danielson on the other, and I just was like, holy sh, none of us thought we would wrestle again, and I felt very grateful. Very cool moment." Adam Copeland then replied with a photo writing, "Look at us. Moral of the story, fight for it." With AJ Styles being taken out by the Bloodline before being able to team up with John Cena at Fastlane, it was said that Ringside News reached out to ask about AJ Styles' current status. After all, a lot of fans were a bit worried because he was written off television in brutal fashion. It turns out that AJ Styles is not injured. This is just a part of WWE. We were told by a tenured member of the creative team that AJ Styles will be back soon. That being said, this will not be another 6-month stretch without the phenomenal one at all. Asked about potential matches for him if he makes a return to WWE, Logan Paul told Sports Illustrated, "I've got a whole hit list of people I want to wrestle, and they're both on it, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. After I do this boxing match and knock out Dylan Dennis, I'm going to get right back into it." Explaining why he ultimately decided to leave WWE, Adam Copeland told Talk Is Jericho, "I think too, you and I are both wired the same. I think anybody who's been in this industry, as long as guys like us, you're driven by challenges. You're not just going to show up to something and the same old is only going to work so long. And eventually, you got to get challenged, you got to recreate yourself, you have to reinvent your character. You have to make tweaks, things like that, change your style, whatever that is, in order to keep yourself creatively stimulated." Well, that also goes to who you're working with, and I mean, I could work Seth Rollins every day of the week and it'd be amazing, but we've wrestled now, okay? And I wrestled Finn, okay? Wrestled Roman, okay? Wrestled AJ. Like, there was a list of guys that I wanted to work with, and I worked most of them. And we just kind of got to a point, I think, I've said, I think both sides were just out of ideas, and that's okay. It's no one's fault. Chris mentions how Adam and WWE outgrew each other, and I truly feel like that's kind of the way it was. I have a small window here to be able to contribute to the wrestling industry as a whole and be able to pull off matches that I want to pull off at a certain level. I know that the time frame is small. It's not like I got another 10 years left in me to do it the way I want to do it, and I wanted to maximize them. And to their point, to WWE's point is, well, if you're around too much, it's not special. And I can see that I get that. I just felt like if I got 2 years, or if I got a year, then let's take the governor off and let's go. That's really all boiled down to, and then I look at it and when I did sit down with my family and talk and my girls made it real simple, they said just go with Uncle Jay. I mean, when a 9-year-old can really simplify for you like that and just kind of smack it in the face with clearly it's gotta be that, Dad. What do you think? Because for a while, after the Toronto show, I was like, God, this might be it, man, because I was loving it. We, myself and Sheamus, just in there, and we'd never worked 2 singles, but it was so much fun, and the crowd was just, halfway through I was like, man, this might be it. This might be because this is so much fun, and I want my last match, whatever that is, to feel fun, and that was. So I really took some time to just kind of sit on my butt and then sit with it and see where my heart and my brain sometimes have different ideas. And I just needed to kind of get through all of that and decide where it was going to be, and again, the girls just really simplified it for me and made it kind of a no-brainer when they said that. In some unfortunate news, WWE commentator Vic Joseph revealed that his father passed away, writing, "Yesterday I lost my dad. My earliest memory was watching wrestling with him. He always supported my dreams and did to the end. Last night was for him. To everyone involved and all of you that watched and interacted, you allowed me to escape for a few hours. Thank you." Of course, we wish Vic Joseph and his family all the best during this time. It seems an AEW star is no longer with the promotion, as it was reported that VSK, who wrestled mostly on AEW programming as Jeeves K of the Trustbusters, has departed AEW. PWInsider.com has confirmed. We are told that VSK's contract has expired. Similar to the recently departed Sonny Kiss and Zach Clayton, there is always a chance VSK can be used down the line, but he is no longer officially contracted to the promotion. VSK originally trained in Long Island, New York, and has been a regular for Creator Pro, Victory Pro Wrestling, and the now defunct FWE in the NYC area. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.